Have you ever had to deal with someone who didn't keep their promises, didn't follow through on a commitment, or was just plain dishonest? We all have, unfortunately. And perhaps, more times than not, that someone was you or me. It doesn't feel good, whichever side of the situation you happen to be on. We experienced some of that recently with our daughter as she's navigating the purchase of a vehicle. I'll keep the details to a minimum, but suffice to say, it was pretty blatant. As close to betrayal as can be, coming from a complete stranger. 2 times. 2 separate private car sellers. 2 separate purchase attempts. 2 different towns, yet both ended in the same result. They promised, gave their word that the car was hers after she test drove it. Then shortly after, they backed out of the agreement. The reasons are irrelevant, but the overarching theme stands out. People don't freaking keep their word anymore. At least that's how it seems. After the first situation, we felt pretty upset. How the heck can someone just completely go against what they said, to lie, and do the complete opposite? Okay, sometimes people just suck. Got it, let's move on. Then the next scenario. Dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, we've got this one nailed down. Nope. Surprise, gonna just pull that rug right out from under your feet again. Okay, hold on. What is going on with society? Really, I started deeply questioning what the heck was going on with the world. There used to be a time when a handshake meant something, when your word was something to be valued, to be cherished, more than money. Not anymore. Nope. Now it's every person for themselves. Screw everyone else. Get what you can while you can. Snooze, you lose, sucker. Okay, hold on, Aaron. That just doesn't sound right. So I reflected on this for some time, let the rage dissipate a little, and realized I was less upset with the individual people, though I'd still like to have a little discussion with them in person, and more disappointed in us, humans in general. Have we digressed so much that even this simple act of integrity, of honor, of trustworthiness is lost? As I've thought more about it, no, I don't think we have. I think pockets of folks have sort of lost their way, but not all have. So I wrote down some ways that I can ensure at least I am upholding these values in the hopes that it can maybe encourage others to do the same. One healthy way to approach this reality is to accept that trustworthiness varies widely from person to person, rather than expecting society as a whole to uphold the same standards I do. When I expect integrity from everyone, disappointment becomes inevitable. But when I recognize that reliability is a personal choice, not a universal norm, I shift from frustration to discernment. This mindset helps us respond thoughtfully instead of feeling personally betrayed each time someone fails to follow through. Another important strategy is to refine boundaries. While not necessarily applicable to the car sale scenarios, it's still applicable to life. When someone shows you repeatedly that they don't keep their word, treat that information as a guide for how much access, responsibility, or emotional energy you give them. Boundaries don't punish others, they protect your peace. By adjusting how you engage with unreliable people, you spend less time trying to change them and more time honoring your own values. At the same time, it helps to intentionally surround yourself with those who do value integrity. Trustworthy people still exist in abundance. They're just not always the loudest or most visible. When you cultivate relationships with people who follow through, communicate honestly, and take responsibility for their commitments, it restores your sense of balance. These relationships also reinforce that your own commitment to keeping your word isn't outdated. It's a strength that attracts the right kind of connections. Finally, continue living your own values even when they feel rare. Integrity becomes a kind of leadership by modeling what reliability looks like, meeting commitments, setting clear expectations, and communicating transparently. You influence others more than you may realize. Even if society as a whole drifts from accountability, individuals can still choose to be consistent, honest, and dependable. And often, your example becomes an anchor for the people who are quietly looking for someone who still believes trust is worth upholding. The best way to combat a lack of honor and trustworthiness is to demonstrate it tenfold. And you knew this part was coming. Are you ready to level up? It has to start with you. So start small. Start today. Choose one commitment, no matter how simple, and follow through on it fully. Then notice how it feels to keep your word with intention, even if it's just with yourself. When we take responsibility for our own consistency, we quietly strengthen the fabric of trust around us. Be the example that reminds others what reliability looks like, and watch how it inspires them to rise to the same standard.